everybody. Happy another Wednesday. We're gonna do something a little bit unique this week because, as you guys may have noticed last week, we were coming up right on the day of the election, and while there are some things that I can translate before we get into the election, and I need to get all, up in everybody's business with subtitles, I would like to first actually go back and talk to some of these other peeps and see what's going on here. So last time we talked to Izuki and Shihori, and not really a whole lot came out of that. So, basically, I'm gonna go ahead and check out what some of these other, events have to say. So basically, I'm gonna have to be reloading some saves and stuff, because I'm pretty sure I can only do, 2 at a time. So yeah. Alright, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to our room number 3, which I guess is our room, maybe? I'm not sure what that means, so I guess we're gonna find out. And another day was over. Oh, okay. I see what's happening here. Okay, well, I see. So we could just end without doing the free times. Okay, well, here we are. We're back again. Let's go talk to Michimune and Yuri, I guess. We'll talk to Michimune and Yuri, and then we'll go talk to Issei and Miori. And then after that, we'll do all of the pre-trial stuff. Not trial. I'm sorry. I'm downloading at you. We'll do all of the election. The pre-election things. Whew, man, I'm tired. So, today, I, for work, went to a school up in the mountains, and I went there because they wanted to do some recording for this, video that they want to show the students. It's like a role play kind of thing, and they went all out, right? It's supposed to be a store, and I'm buying a couple of potatoes, except they had real potatoes that the kids had dug up from the school, which I was very impressed about. And then they were like, oh, do you want some potatoes to take home? Because of course they did. And when I used to work in schools, I would get tons of free food, especially vegetables and stuff, especially when they were in season. And I don't get as many now because I work with office people and not teachers who live out in the middle of nowhere. I work with a bunch of much younger people who work in an office and live in a city. So they don't have fruit or vegetables that are growing in their gardens to give me. But this school was like, oh yeah, come on down and have some potatoes. And we go down and there's just this blue tarp down like you would use for a Hanami party, and it's just covered in potatoes. It's amazing. I took a photo of it. I'll put it up on my blog later, but oh man, freaking wonderful. Anyway, let's talk to Michimune. With my free time, I wandered aimlessly around the hotel.
奇遇だね、道宗君。
This is a new track. Interesting. I like it. I mean, I like most of the tracks in this game, because I feel like this game is extremely good at making this atmospheric music, and it's very relaxing. And I was in a restaurant, I think, and one time, and they were playing the Exile election soundtrack in the background, which was pretty funny to me, actually. But whatever. Sorry, I'm just jamming out to this music, guys. I love it. Okay. Oh, well, I wasn't expecting to see you here, Michimune-kun.
なんだ、先輩っすか。
Oh, if it isn't senpai, huh?
なんだとはひどいな。
Whoa, well, I guess it's just me. Man, tough crowd.
いや、別にそういう意味じゃ。
What? No, that's not how I mean it.
冗談だよ。本気で言ってるわけじゃないっていうのは分かってる。
I'm just kidding around. I knew you weren't being serious.
それで、なんか用でもあるんですか？
So, anything you want with me?
特に用事はないけど、ちょっと話せるかなって思って。
Nothing special. I just thought it would be kind of nice to talk.
別にこっちに話はないんすけどね。
Well, I don't really have a whole lot lot to talk about, so...
それほど情報があるわけじゃないけど、情報交換でもできたらなって思って。
I mean, you don't need anything quite that important. I was just thinking maybe we could share information, you know?
そういうわけなら構わないですけど。
Oh, well, if that's what you want to do, then I'm fine with that. I didn't have a whole lot of important info to share. Just exchanging normal pleasantries, he and I parted ways. Probably didn't have a whole lot of meaning, but, It might have not had a whole lot of meaning, but at this stage it was still good to try and talk to each other to try and build trust.
さて、
Alright, well then. I still had time, so I figured I'd go check out another place. Okay. Izuki, Issei... Here we go, Yuri. When I wandered around the hotel in my free time...
偶然だね、ユリ君。
Oh, hey, look at me running into you here, Yuri-kun.
かなめさん、
Oh, Kaname-san.
今、一人なの？
Are you alone right now?
いえ、さっきまでみんなと一緒だったんですけど、今はちょうど自分の部屋に戻るところです。
Oh, no, we were all together earlier. It's just you just caught me on my way back to my own room.
そっか。ちょっと話でもできるかな。情報交換ってわけじゃないけど。
Oh, I see. Do you want to just talk a little bit? I mean, doesn't have to be any sort of like info sharing or anything.
そうですか。そういうことでしたら少しだけ。
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then yeah, I could spare a few minutes. I didn't have a whole lot of important things to tell him. So, after exchanging normal pleasantries, I parted ways with him. I wonder if it's intentional to be kind of like this exact same parallel with Michimune. Because this is the exact same line too. It might not have been super meaningful, however, at this stage it was probably better to do things like this to gain trust.
さて、
Well then. Well, that's probably good for today. So I'm getting the feeling that there's not a whole lot really to see in these conversations, but even so, just in case, I'm going to check them. There's a couple of other earlier ones as well that I would also like to go back to. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it today, however. So let's check these guys out. With my leftover time, I wandered around the hotel. Since I felt myself growing a bit peckish, I decided to visit the restaurant.
やあ一条くん、ひょっとして時間でも潰しに来た？
Hey! Ichijo-kun, you here to kill a little time? Oh, I forgot about his voice. Sorry. Oh, if it isn't Ichijo-kun, are you here to kill some time? I hadn't necessarily planned this, but as you might expect, Ninchoji Issei was there in the restaurant.
そんなところです。少し小腹が空いて。
Oh, yeah, exactly. To be honest, I'm a little bit hungry.
ちょうどよかった。それならさっき焼いたばかりのお菓子があるんだ。
Oh, I see. Well, you're right on time. I have just finished baking some sweets.
さっきですか？
You just finished?
暇だからね。飲み物も用意するから少し待っていてくれるかな。
Well, I do have quite a bit of free time. Please wait a moment while I prepare a drink for you as well.
ええ、ありがとうございます。
Oh, okay. Thank you. Since I hadn't had a whole lot of free time lately, I wasn't able to kill too much time, but I was able to eat. I was able to fill my stomach. I hadn't necessarily intended to come over here and make things easier between the two of us, but it seemed as though I had gained his trust, and certainly wasn't anything wrong with that.
さて、
Well then. Still had time, so I could probably hang out somewhere else. Alright, let's go see what Miyoti's doing. No. Go to the... No. There we go. That was weird. When I wandered around the hotel in my free time...
偶然だね、みおりさん。
Okay, so are you gonna be exactly the same as your brother then? Oh, fancy seeing you here, Miyori-san.
かなめさん
Oh, Kaname-san.
一人それとも、部屋に戻るところかな。
Oh, you by yourself? Ah, could it be you're heading back to your own room?
ええそうなんです
Ah, yes, that's it.
そっか。それなら、
Oh, okay, well if that's the case.
それは別に構いませんけど
Okay, well I don't really mind. We didn't talk about anything important, but at this stage, I figured it was still a good idea to build trust. And on top of it, I was able to kill some time.
さて、
Well then, it's probably enough for today. Okay, cool. So let's go back to our original save, just because the people I chose to build trust with.
行こ
Because I'm assuming that like the people I choose to talk to there, I'll get more trust out of them, and since Group C is the one that is going to be probably left last in terms of me, at least on this playthrough, I want to make sure that I build up enough trust with them so that I can do my machinations later on. Okay. Well then, let's go. Yeah. I pulled Nori's hand and we headed toward the election room. I don't know if you guys can hear my washing machine going off in there. And with this, it was time for the third election. Bye bye, Asha. With this, one more person would be erased, and I was one step closer to realizing my revenge. And then, I would have eliminated one entire group from the world. I had finally reached one of the milestones of my revenge, my revenge that it laid down an unknown path. However, there were still 6 left. I didn't know when it would end. I didn't know when it would end, but I got a feeling that if going by Alice's rules, I would probably have the exact perfect amount of days to make it happen. So, only 18 days. Whether that was short or long, right now I couldn't tell. Alright. Ah, we've finally gotten married, haven't we, Yuri-kun?
やっと両親も許してくれたし、これからはずっと一緒だよ。
Yeah, our parents finally let us go ahead with it, go through with it. From now on, we'll always be together. Burp, burp. Yuri-kun! Yuri! A drunk driver. Such a cruel fate. Even though he said we'd always be together. Humans are such fragile creatures.
私はこんなこと認めない。必ず永遠を手に入れますわ。
I'm gonna make a comment about this in a second. I will not accept this. I will definitely find a way to cling to eternity. Okay, so I'm gathering that, like, Asha's theme, though related to Kasha's theme, it's different. Because I was a little bit worried it was going to be the same thing, where, Kasha's whole thing was that she wanted to kill her lover so that they would be together forever and be happy forever. Whereas with Asha, it seems like she's a little bit more, she's shooting a little bit higher, actually, and she's just like, I want to be immortal. At least that's how it looks now. I hope it's not the exact same premise, because that would be really boring and kind of a weird choice for the game to take, because you kind of have to take the twins out close to each other, but whatever, we'll see.
それからアーサちゃんは研究を重ねた。
Oh yeah, okay. She's searching for eternal life. After that, Asha-chan threw herself into her research.
そしてついに不老不死になる方法を見つけた。
Okay, I was right. And then finally, she was able to find a way to live forever.
それは人間の細胞を常に健康に保つナノマシンだ。
Ah, okay. The key were nanomachines, which prevented human cells, or which kept human cells always healthy. Okay, so our theme this time. Okay. Suppose that someone has developed nanomachines that can work inside your body to make sure you never age and never die. They'll be able to heal any kind of wound or any kind of malady, and they always make sure that your body is in a healthy condition. It is not possible for you to go back to your former imperfect body. There are only 13 people in the world who know about this. Kokensha is like a test subject, right? Just gonna double check that real quick. Ugh, I hate when you do this to me. Why do you do this to me, computer? Anyway, this is a very interesting topic also. I'm glad when we have interesting topics, you know, where... I'm glad that this game kind of brings up topics that are really interesting, you know what I mean? Because, sorry, my brain is just not... Oh, my brain is just not having this today. But, anyway, I like these kind of topics because I found that they're really, really interesting. And I kind of like talking about them. And I kind of wish that there were more people around for me to talk about them. I feel like this would be a really cool thing to talk about, like, on a stream or something along those lines. It's just unfortunately, like, I started this as a YouTube playthrough and I can't really change it to a stream at this point. He can yep, test subject, I was right. Okay. The only people who know of this are 13 test subjects. If the experiment goes well, then this method will be released out into the world, and the number of people who will live forever will increase.
君たちは全員でこのナノマシンを飲むかどうかを決めなければならない。
Every single one of you needs to decide whether or not you're going to down these nanomachines. Okay.
私は飲むことに賛成ですわ。
確かに. I agree with taking them in nanomachines. Which obviously means that we need to argue against the nanomachines. Which is great, because actually that's my position. Now, I would never decide this for anyone else. However, me personally, I have no interest in immortality whatsoever. I don't care how healthy I am, or how, like, well my body works and blah blah blah. I prefer mortality. Because otherwise, I would probably never get anything done. I would just fall into depression forever, because I'd just be like, what's the point? And I don't know, I could just see, like, being very tired of living after a while. I don't mean for this to get dark. I don't mean this in, like, a dark way. It's because, you know, I mean, the thing is I am mortal, and I'm totally fine with that. Unless the afterlife is the way that it was portrayed in the Japanese movie Kaido from 2001, where there's that horrifying scene where the guy catches the ghost. Was his name Kawashima, I think? The main character catches the ghost, and he asks him, like, what the hell are all these ghosts doing in the world? And he finds out that the reason is because it's, as this college student had suggested, that the afterlife is full, and so all of these new ghosts are kind of spilling out of it and are in the living world around the living, but unable to actually, like, affect anything on it, except for making people depressed and want to kill themselves. And so the main character finally catches this one ghost, and he's like, you know, what is the deal? And the guy just says to him, and oh my god, it's such a terrifying line. He's like, Shi wa eien no kodok. Like, death is eternal loneliness. And I was just like, oh no. Because usually, like, as an abstract concept and from a theoretical standpoint, I'm not really all that afraid of death. Like, the concept of death. I don't want to die. And I'm not looking forward to the various, like, you know, painful ways of that actually coming to be. However, like, the idea of dying someday doesn't really bother me that much, and who knows, maybe that's just because I'm still relatively young, and, healthy, and maybe I will have a, you know, what is it, Ivan Ivanovich moment at some point when I'm much closer to my own, or when I'm aware of being much closer to my own death, where I probably will not be quite as okay with it. But as just a general kind of, like, idea, I'm cool with being mortal, so it's kind of fun to argue my actual point. Because I disagreed with the point that I was arguing. No, actually, no, I think I have agreed with every point that we've had to take so far. Because we're always, like, the no stance. Because it's like the first one was about revenge killing, and I'm against revenge killing in real life. I'm against revenge in general, unless it's like, best revenge is living well, you know? And then the second one was about knowing when you were gonna die, and not wanting to know. And I agree with that. I don't want to know when I'm gonna die, because I feel like I'd be too preoccupied with that. And strict deadlines, man. Nobody likes those. And then in this one, I don't really want to live forever. So it's kind of neat that I get to take my own actual side on this. Okay, sorry for that digression, guys. We'll continue with this. Anyway, Asha wants to take the nanomachines.
不老不死は人類の長年の夢。飲まないなんてありえませんわ。
Eternal life has been the longest dream, has been a dream of humanity for ages and ages. I can't imagine anybody who wouldn't want to take them.
俺は飲むことには反対です。もう普通には戻れないだなんて。もしもの時のリスクが高すぎる。
Well, I'm against taking the nanomachines. Not being able to return to your normal self, that's just too high of a risk.
さあ、他のみんなは飲む？飲まない？
Well then, how about the rest of you? Will you take the nanomachines? Or will you not take the nanomachines? I'm using take, by the way, even though it says drink, because, you know, kusuri o nomu, like, you always drink medicine, even if it's pills. So, or like a solid. So, I'm using take, since they're using it kind of like a medicine kind of deal.
誰も飲まないか、全員飲むかの二者択一だよ。
Either no one takes them, or everyone takes them. Those are your two choices. Okay. Alright, well, I'm gonna end this one here. I apologize, even with the extra stuff, it's still only about half as long. So, I'm sorry, everyone. My apologies. The reason I would go directly into the election if I could just, you know, verbally translate it and just make an extra long episode. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do that for the very sole reason that I have to subtitle that shit. And there is no way that I'm going to be able to stay up all night and subtitle this shit. And I want to get this out on time. So, I'm going to go ahead and hit cut here for this week. And I'm going to record the actual election so I can get started on the Jimaku subtitles earlier, so that maybe I can actually get this one out on time. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, thank you for joining me. I will see you guys on Saturday this week. Saturday for VC4, because, you know, we're gonna VC4 on Saturday because Nate has to work on Sunday. We got some other stuff coming up. We recorded the 3rd episode of Sheen, which kind of put a nice cap on the end of Chapter 1. We're not officially done Chapter 1, but we're pretty much done Chapter 1 of Sheen. So, as far as I know, no one else has done any sort of LP type stuff of the game past Chapter 1. So that'll be new territory. That'll be fun. I like Sheen more the more I play it, because it has some kind of very interesting directions that it goes in. It has some very interesting choices that it does in terms of the actual gameplay, and I like the art a lot. I think the art's pretty great. So, except for the, you know, wanton, like, nudity that it has for some reason, and it's so funny to me. I made a post about this the other day, but it's so funny to me because, like, there's just, like, these cheesecake CGs, and they're just there, and, like, it's never... The game never tries to justify it. They're just like, here you go, you pervs, here's your cheesecake, enjoy it, and then let's get back to the story. It's kind of hilarious how blasé the whole attitude is about it. But anyway, I will see you guys on Saturday this week, and then I will see you again next Wednesday, hopefully, if I can get all the subtitles done. You don't understand how long it takes. The actual translation doesn't take that long. I can translate the thing not that long. It takes roughly about the same amount of time as it does to play it. And then, but the oh god, the lining up the subtitles thing just drives me nuts. There's gotta be a better way. But anyway, alright guys, see you later. Bye.